possibly in the state of New England.
Oh, that was clever, Gary.
I was working on that. I was working on that all day long.
Yeah, right.
Belichick's Patriots playing the Lions tonight, so let's talk about one of our favorite subjects, Tim Tebow. Now, here's what Belichick's mentor, Bill Parcells, had to say, and I quote, "I think Tebow has some attributes that are difficult to see, and I respect those attributes. He's accomplished a great deal in his football career. He really has, but he has to pass the ball better." The most humorous thing in all of the conversation about Tebow is, well, just move him to another position. Like that's some cinch. Like just put you, like, let's just because you put him in there at tight end, he'll be a tight end like Mark Bavaro. Now, come on. And speaking of which, come on. Tebow struggled so far this preseason, but Danny, we'll start off with you as a quarterback. Is he going to make the team?
I think the next two games, these next two preseason games, are the most critical of Tim Tebow's career. I think he's got to show them something more than what he's got. He's 5 of 19 for 54 yards and an interception this preseason. And even though the statistics aren't great, what you've seen has been even worse. I mean, he's had horrible overthrows, very inaccurate. And for him to make the team, my official stance on Tebow has been and will always be, he's a great football player, but he's a football player without a position. He has nowhere to play. And I totally agree with Bill Parcells. When he has some great attributes, that's great. But you know what? If you want a guy just with attributes in your locker room, go get the strength coach. I mean, make him the strength coach. Those guys spend a lot of time around guys. They need to motivate them. They need to, get them going in the weight room. I just think in a league where you see a 53-man roster, you see a lot of teams going with 2 quarterbacks instead of 3 because they can keep a guy in the practice squad, which Tebow's not eligible for. I just think he's going to have to show them something on the field. And it's almost like we've seen the opposite of what his career has been to this point, because we're hearing he's been great in practice, but he's been bad on the field. And that's basically the opposite of what we've always heard. He's bad in practice, but he turns it on when the lights come on. I think that should be even a bigger concern, that now when the lights do come on, it's not there.
But the lights are coming on in the preseason with reserve players. You know what I mean? That's not really the lights. You know,
I agree.
him. So I think he's going to make the team. Obviously, you have to leave open the possibility he gets cut. They only had 2 quarterbacks last year, but most teams still carry 3. And look, what he's done, it can't be a huge surprise because the Patriots knew what they were getting when they signed him. Skip, I know. He can't throw. I mean, he's not a good quarterback. Where have you heard that before? Look. Belichick knew, one, he's not a good quarterback as far as throwing the football. Okay. 2, he can't really be your number 2 guy because once he comes in there, you have to change the whole offense. He can't run Tom Brady's offense, so he has to change. So you brought him in my view, thinking he's going to be the 3rd quarterback. So I think they like his character, they like his inspiration, they like his work ethic, his energy, what he is in that locker room, what he symbolizes. And you're right, you could have made him an assistant coach for that. But I think that's what they brought him in for, and that's that's why I think he's going to make the team. I don't think they're surprised that this guy is 1 for 7 and can't throw the football.
Okay, well, then why would he make the team? Well, what's the point?
For those reasons that
For what reason? You gave me no reason.
He's got great character. He's inspiring.
He's a cheerleader.
And beyond. But look, he is, we all have to admit, it's something special about him in that regard. I mean, we still can't figure out how they won those games in Denver.
Well, you finally got to your grudging admission.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, other than the defense was great, but how in the world did they win those games? How in the world did he inspire those players?
Keep talking.
That's what they
talk yourself into it now.
No, I'm just saying. That's what they brought him in. Did they bring him in to throw the football?
I think they brought him in as a long-term project, and I think they're starting to see that maybe it's just unfixable.
Well, they may see that at some point, but I don't think they'll see it this early.
Where was the Magic last year? Where was that?
Where was the Magic? Where was the playing time? He had a whole year off of playing quarterback.
Some opportunity.
Oh, please.
I didn't
But
see a
that's
lot
the
of
thing. See, I will agree with Skip on this. I think he has to be given the team, or at least the starting job. It obviously not going to happen in New England. But that's when I think he will be at his best. I don't think throwing him in for a series here or there, especially in the preseason with the second unit, is going to do it for him. I think he has to be given the keys, and you can't give him the keys.
I am extremely offended by both of you, especially by Danny. And I have held my breath over here waiting for my opportunity, and now I'm going to seize the floor. First of all, I wholeheartedly agree with the new Hall of Fame Coach Parcells comment about no other position for Tim Tebow. I have laughed all preseason at people who say they can use him in place of Gronk. No, they can't. He can't play tight end. He doesn't have that kind of ability. He can't be an H-back. I've argued with Bill Polian, for whom I have great respect, about Bill says he could be the next John Riggins. I don't know if that's before your time, but again, John Riggins was a 4.5 40 guy. Tim doesn't run that well. Okay, now let's get back to why he will make this team and why he ultimately will be the backup quarterback to Tom Brady. Coach Belichick talked about attributes as well as Coach Parcells. Coach Belichick has seen them up close and personal in that regular season game during that run in Denver. Remember in December of that run, he'd won the 7 out of 8. It took every bit of Tom Brady to overcome Tim Tebow in Denver in that game. And even the great Trent Dilfer stood on the sideline for a stand-up on ESPN after that game and said, I got to give it up. I got to admit it. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Tim is really improving as a thrower, as a quarterback. Now, let's get to attributes. This is the greatest package of intangibles I have ever seen in one football player. And I have called him a force of competitive nature because when it is time, last 5 minutes of all those 13 games he started, that's 2 years ago in Denver, the best QBR in all of pro football in the last 5 minutes. You can't tell me you can't throw and do that. The best QBR for the first 55 minutes. He was time out. In the playoff game against the number 1 ranked defense, I'll just do the second quarter. I don't need the overtime throw to Demaryius, the 80-yarder. He had 4 completions of 20 or more yards just in the second quarter after Eric Decker was lost for the rest of the game and the season, obviously. He had 3 of 40-plus in the second quarter alone. Don't tell me he can't throw. So, as Coach Mangini used to say when we had him on our desk, God bless you, Eric, hope you're having a good time in San Francisco, he would always say, Tim gets accurate in the fourth quarter. There are times he can be accurate at Minnesota that year in the first and second quarter. Against New England that year, he was very accurate in the first quarter. But I agree with Coach Parcells. He has to throw it a little better. But let's give him a little break here. He's under his 5th head coach in 4 seasons. Yeah, a little bit of break. Sure. And Belichick pulled off an experiment. He let him run the spread option in the first exhibition game, going back 2. And then the other night, as I told you on Monday, he said, let's see if Tim can run Tom's offense. They ran no spread option. There was a lot of under center drop back. There was some shotgun, just straight shotgun with no option to it. And he was horrible. He can't run that offense. So they saw they would have to change horses in midstream to go to Tim, and I believe they will.
So let me ask you this, because your stance is that they could win 1 game. If they had to win it, they would rather go with Tebow.
I'll take 2 games.
Okay.
Win 2 games.
Okay, because here's my contention with Tebow on the Patriots. Denver, his defense was phenomenal.
Yes.
Why are the Patriots good?
How is his defense phenomenal? And they were very good. They were 1-4. They were 1-4. They were dead in the water.
In the game.
Oh,
for those 50